A very warm good morning to all of you. I am Dr. Bharat Saboo from India. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Nosy Yusuf for inviting me here and the whole team of the 8th Annual Egyptian Cardiodiabetes Association Conference for setting up this conference so very well. This is my conflict of interest. And coming to my topic, which is beyond numbers, tools that translate CGM data to better outcomes. Now we all know we talk about CGM very often, and CGM is a tool which transforms diabetes care like anything. But still the traditional metrics provide limited insight, and we need to translate this CGM data into actionable insights. Now there is an era of AI augmentation now, and what this has done, actually AI has transformed CGM data into clinical wisdom, and that is what I would be showing you through in next 15 minutes or so. We are already challenged with the CGM data overload because we have 280 plus glucose readings daily, 2000 readings around in a week, and a 1 lakh reading, more than 1 lakh reading in an annual measurement. So it puts us into a huge data overload, and we as humans have our analysis limitations because we can only process less than 1% of the available CGM pattern which are with us. Now AI can solution for 4 key applications. This I will illustrate in my next 10-12 minutes or so, but just to give you a brief, first is predictive analytics, pattern recognition, automated insulin delivery, and personalized recommendation. These are the 4 places where AI will play its role in CGM analysis. Now this is a typical CGM graph. We all are aware with this, and this is a model day plot. The dark line you can see is the mean of glucose at any given time. Now again, in 1.0, I will call it 1.0, which is the CGM analysis which we are doing till date. It is based on summary statistics. It gives us a beautiful time in range, mean glucose value, standard deviation, glucose management indicators. It is useful but limited in capturing the temporal dynamics. Because we need to move beyond numbers. Because CGM generates 1400 glucose readings a day, traditional summaries are often oversimplified, and complex patterns require advanced analysis which we are not able to do. These are the limitations. Oversimplified complex glucose fluctuations which we are not able to predict. We miss the subtle phenotypic and dynamic variability which occur between the individuals, and it is time consuming for clinicians to actually analyze the CGM data as well. Now this is comparison of key features for pattern analysis method of CGM data using traditional statistical method and functional data analysis using AI and machine learning. So these are all the comparison which are there, where we have used CGM data and we have calculated the values based on the current 1.0 and AI and machine learning, which I will be talking through in next few minutes, which we call as CGM 2.0. So CGM sensors give data through the AI ML analysis, the AI insights are created, the patient becomes empowered, shared decision takes place with the help of AI and CGM data, and personalized actions are planned for the patient. So this is the CGM data analysis 2.0 which I am talking about today. Because emergence of functional data analysis and AI tools, they give a temporal dynamics about the data. They identify phenotypes and subphenotypes of glycemic patterns, and they can predict risk and personalize the therapy based on these data analysis. So what is functional data analysis? It treats actually CGM data as a continuous curve. It captures the full temporal dynamics, not the point values. It identifies the glycemic pattern. Example is glucose density for detailed glycemic profile. I will show you how. Now AI ML models, they predict the glucose trend, they stratify the risk, they classify the metabolic subtypes. Yes, they can classify, and they can enhance the clinical decision support system. Now AI in CGM, because it captures a continuous data and there is an AI driven analysis, it gives a personalized insight, predictive alert, and preventive care plan as well based on the patient profiles. Now again, this is how it works. CGM sensors gives the real-time data again to the AI ML analysis, and the clinical insights and decision support is done, and the patient empowerment is done through the diabetes self-management and education. One more interesting thing which it does is glucose types. So AI identify glucose types from CGM. basically where we are typifying patient based on the glucose pattern. So we can then create subtypes of pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetes which are not theoretical but based on the glucose pattern. And then they can help personalize treatment strategies, because if Professor Noshe and I eat a banana, our glycemic response would be different. So that is what is reflected by incorporating artificial intelligence into CGM analysis. This is an example. You see a low variability graph, a moderate variability graph, and a severe variability graph. These are all CGM graphs, but they belong to different patient profiles. And that is how we segregate our patient based on variability. And then based on these patterns, we can predict and then we can plan personalizedly what should be done next to reduce this variability. Now again, this is average glucose values for all subjects across days, and this is a heat map of CGM tracings which we never see in the routine CGM readings. So for any given subject at any given point of time, this is actually the heat map. You can clearly see it is from 1 to 30 subject, and this is a 24-hour graph. So it is never same for anyone. It is different, and based on these heat maps, we can plan our treatment for individual patients. Now again, moving forward, the estimated and clustered glucose densities, you can see left 3 panels, and the corresponding cumulative distribution of glucose values on the right panel, you can clearly see these are different, and these can be identified only on AI and machine learning algorithms. Again, machine learning models can predict insulin resistance also, beta cell function also, because at home CGM with AI may replace expensive clamp studies, and then we will be able to better serve our patient, because then we will be doing the metabolic subphenotype of patient based on the level of insulin resistance and beta cell function. Then we will be better able to serve our patient right in terms of type 2 diabetes. And this is the study design of the validation cohort, an at-home OGTT test via CGM to predict the muscle insulin resistance and the beta cell function. You can clearly see at home and in the control units how we do, and it fares equally well, and it does wonderfully well to predict insulin resistance and then metabolically classify type 2 diabetes mellitus. Large language models which are there like GPT-4, they are tested for CGM summarization, and they generate narrative reports similar to clinicians. They have high accuracy, but occasionally they do errors, which we have tried to conquer with some of our tools, which I will show you later. Again, example of this AI enhanced CGM is Dexcom Stelo, Roche AccuCheck Smart Guide, which is again an AI powered alert system, which shows the clinical adoption of AI into the monitoring system. Again, the decision support system, the clinical decision support system, which we call today, it again helps physicians or clinicians to detect nocturnal hypoglycemia based on the glucose patterns, can predict postprandial hyperglycemia, and can enable timely intervention into it. It can empower patients because these apps provide real-time feedback, they promote engagement and adherence, they support the shared decision making. Again, remote monitoring can be done with the cloud-based AI CGM system, because then we will be able to see the continuous monitoring. AI will detect the hyperglycemia and dawn phenomena. Cost reduction would be there. There would be fewer hospitalizations because then we will be predicting hypoglycemia much better. Even if we are not looking at it, AI can give directly alert to the patient to avoid the hypoglycemic episode. And this is actually a diagram which demonstrates the innovative integration and application of personalized management plan, remote monitoring, and intervention, which is shared decision making in modern healthcare management. And this is the future of type 2 diabetes treatment, I tell you. Again, in personalized intervention, we can analyze CGM data to tailor the diet, exercise, and medication strategies. And this figure actually illustrates the process of accurate identification fingerprint collection of CGM data. So we collect the data, we do the AI interventions as I have told you, and then we improve the decision support system, and that's why we make our patient feel more empowered for the care which we are giving to them. Again, AI enhanced CGM improves the early detection. If used in prediabetes, it identifies subtle prediabetes risk, it improves the sensitivity and specificity, and it can actually, as I have told you, it can help us to monitor and predict insulin resistance if we take care of it correctly in time we can prevent future prediabetes and diabetes respectively. Again, it gives us a way to give a shared decision making because there is a data driven collaboration. Patients understand the glucose pattern, they do joint planning with clinician and educator, and it definitely improves outcome in all of our patients. Again, in education, AI CGM requires training, and clinician they interpret AI insights. Patient can help in using the simplified apps by using AI, and health workers they use and they can actually get trained in AI and telemedicine, and that is how this whole system will work. Now there are blockchain solutions to enhance the AI CGM combo. They are hovering around data security, interoperability, and patient controlled access, which should be there. In low resource setting, we all know there is a cost barrier to CGM adoption, and that is the graph which shows that the low molecular income countries have a very low adoption to CGM as compared to the high income countries. Now, what are the future directions? Innovations ahead are closed loop systems which are readily available, AI health assistant, integration of the social determinants into the CGM matrix, and the future is analysis 2.0, which I am talking about is functional plus AI driven, and it is different from the typical analysis 1.0 because it just gives summary, while 2.0 gives functional and AI driven analysis. 1.0 gives just basic trends, while 2.0 gives deep pattern and risk stratification as well. To simplify, the 1.0 system which we are using till date is simplified, but it gives just summary. 2.0 is AI driven and gives future insights as well. Now, what are the clinical outcomes? Studies show CGM and AI, when they use together, they improve the glucose control, they enhance the patient satisfaction, they reduce the complication. This is one of the tools which we have developed. This is our company, Docyantra Private Limited. It won the first abstract prize at DTECon 2025 in terms of abstract, the CGM Maestro, which is next generation AI tool for CGM interpretation and diabetes decision making. So it gives you a situational learning in CGM interpretation. It gives differential diagnosis and actionable interventions as well. So it can again recognize pattern and do all the things. This is a next generation AI tool for CGM interpretation and diabetes decision making. So this is the abstract which was published in IJDT and it was awarded the first prize. Now again, a pilot study in rural India yielded an improvement in glycemic control by 18% when we did AI SMS based interventions. Explainable AI, which is XAI, it improves trust because then we explain the AI to the user, and it gives attention mapping, shape values, and enhances transparency. There are some ethical considerations also because there can be algorithmic bias, there can be data ownership issues, and there can be regulatory compliance. So there are challenges. Challenges are barrier to adoption, then data integration, then algorithmic adaptability, which is a challenge. Privacy and security always remains a challenge with these sort of data, and high cost of CGM devices remains the biggest challenge. We need to bring it down anyhow. Now there are certain solutions which are proposed also. Data integration can be solved by developing a standardized interoperability protocol. Algorithmic adaptability can be done by training models like the tool which is there, the CGM Maestro. Data privacy can be done by blockchain technology. High cost can be reduced by developing affordable graphene-based sensors and subsidized public healthcare programs. So these are the ways to minimize it. Now, key takeaways from today's talk are transform your diabetes practice with AI augmented CGM because it is now the need of the hour. And there are 5 evidence-based action points. We should start with CGM. First and foremost, we should start putting CGM to our patient. Then we should leverage AI for pattern recognition. Then we should consider hybrid closed loop system wherever it is required for our patient. We should monitor the right metrics. We should focus on the key metrics as well as the patterns. And we should implement systematically. We should implement it very systematically and gradually because not all of our patients are affording CGM, at least in our country, India. This is our course, which is a Doctor's Edge, a 12-power session program for doctors, which we have planned. This is a plan to make you future-proof. You can scan this barcode and join this program. This is our foundation. Again, we are working very closely to elevate the healthcare delivery and healthcare education delivery. You can join Shift by scanning this. And with this, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you again, Professor Naushe Yusuf, for giving me this opportunity here to talk today. Thank you.